general secretary preach for me, so I'm very, very nervous as to what we were supposed to say here right now. When I was a young preacher, young pastor in Omaha, I had the distinct privilege of going to preach a youth week for Brother Graham. And Brother Graham, just iconic preacher. I was nervous as almost as a whore in church, but that'd be too straight. But I was very nervous when Johnny James on you there for a minute. But I was nervous. I've made a living out of following iconic and preaching in iconic pulpits. I've made a living out of being nervous most of my ministry. But when I was a young preacher, he preached me, was very kind to me. When my family went through that ordeal, my wife went through that ordeal with the mall shooting in Omaha on the 1-year anniversary, Brother Graham invited us to come to St. Louis and spend the weekend with them, which turned out to be a life-transforming weekend for my wife and for our family. When my mom died, I looked down the aisle of people standing there waiting to greet us, and there stood Brother and Sister Graham, who drove all the way down. Never had met my mom, just to be there at that funeral for us. You don't forget those types of things. And we're thankful that people are great preachers, and we're thankful that people are used by God, but we're also thankful that people are great people. And today we have a great person preaching for us and a great Christian. He is our General Secretary. Put your hands together and let's receive Brother Scott Graham.
That is very kind. I am so honored to be with you today for any number of reasons. First of all, you're just a wonderful looking group of people. And I'm honored to share the word of the Lord with you today. See, the challenge is, this is like stepping up to prime rib buffet. You know, I know what's come over this pulpit for years. And also in recent years. And I'm so thankful for that. I think I've shared this, Bishop, with you privately. If I haven't, that's much to my discredit. You saved my life. Summer of 1981, as a teenager, Illinois senior camp, in a 48-hour window, when you did surgery on me with obstacles to a crown, and I'm not an Egyptian. And I don't know that any of you know either of those or know anything about those. Yeah? That 48 hours, you saved my life. And I'm so blessed. And I'm honored to be here with you. This is just, what a giant. In fact, last night we ate at the place where I understand you go daily to sit at the table. Yeah, absolutely. We ate dinner there last night. And I wanted to just go bow at that table. Just lay out across it, and see if something would get on me. You did, pizza sauce, and now I can't go back because the people at the table complained, and I don't know. But just, Bishop, I love you, and you've made such an impact in my life. Your pastor is one of the finest young men I know, and I'm just so thankful for him. They've been dear friends, and I love them profoundly. Amen. Exodus chapter 20. Delighted that my wife could be with me. I married a Floridian. She is from Sarasota and grew up in the church in Bradenton. I swooped down her like a marauding Viking and rescued her from all this sunshine and palm trees. Took her up where we have this stuff called snow. She's forgiven me. It's taken 30 years, but she's forgiven me. I love her very much. I'm delighted she could be with us this weekend. Exodus chapter 20. And I will read beginning in verse 1. A little lengthier passage than I might on Sundays, but I'll read quickly. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Aren't you glad for that? Yeah. Because of that, he says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And I'm glad the Bible doesn't stop right there. Verse 6, what we all need, in showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And because you are such intelligent people, you will readily know that what I've just read to you is commonly called
10 Commandments.
10 Commandments. Now, my title today is a little unique, and I'm going to let you be seated in just a second, but just if you have tried to create the impression with your fellow worshipers that you came out of your mother's womb talking in tongues, okay, if you have tried to create the impression with them that you never knew anything, the beggarly elements of sin, and your righteous personage has never darkened the doors of a pool hall. I just don't want to mess you up with my title, because it sounds like I'm in the pool hall, but I'm not. Title, I'm going to preach today on this subject, number 10 in the corner. Number 10 in the corner. You don't know anything about that, do you? Nothing. I know. Nothing. You can be seated. God bless you today. I want to start with a very simple declaration that I believe with all my heart. And if you believe it too and kind of act like it, it's going to make things a little easier for me. But I'm going to start with this statement right here. There is nothing like the church. Friend, I want you to know the longer I live, the more thankful I am for the church. There is nothing like this thing that we are a part of. I thank God for the church. Paul called it a mystery which had been hidden through the ages past, but was revealed in this New Testament age. It is such a wonder that the Bible uses various descriptive pictures for us to be able to grasp its profound nature. There is the marvel of Christ having a bride, and that is identified as the church of Jesus Christ. Collectively, we are betrothed to Him, and we are anxiously awaiting the day when we sit down with Him at the marriage supper of the Lamb. This church is a bride. It's also called a building that's crafted by God and founded upon the message of the apostles and the prophets, with Jesus Christ Himself being the chief cornerstone. But all of us are lively stones fitted into the wall. And the Bible says we're built up together as a holy habitation for the Lord. We are collectively a building that God has crafted, that He dwells in. It's a bride. It's a building. It's likened to a family in which we are brothers and sisters, and God is our Father. And there is a familial care and a unity that arises out of this relationship, until we might even disagree from time to time on certain things, but underneath it all, we keep this straight. We've got the same name, and we've got the same blood, and we've got the same Father, and the church is our mother, and so we remind ourselves we are family. I kind of figure that guests might find it a little strange occasionally when they first hear this idea of us calling each other brother and sister. I was in a hotel one time at a convention preaching a thing for a local church. There was a convention being held at the hotel. I was just staying there. There was a Lions Club convention going on. I got on the elevator and I heard these guys talking to each other. Have you seen Lion Smith? Lion Johnson was here earlier, and all I could think was, when I grew up, Lion Johnson was somebody you didn't trust. Don't buy a car from old Lion Johnson, you know, but to them it sounded perfectly normal. They were just identifying, he's part of this. We're in this thing together. That's why I'm not uncomfortable at all when we refer to each other as brother so-and-so and sister so-and-so, because we are affirming to one another, to heaven and to hell. We are in this thing together, and we're united by a bond that is strong It's also depicted as a body with Christ as the head, and each of us as members in particular. No two alike, but no one unneeded. All interconnected and valuable, hear me, until a disparate group of people with different backgrounds and different educations and different incomes and different perspectives and different skin color and different native languages and different political leanings can lay all that stuff aside out there and walk in here and say, this isn't about what's different, this is about what's common. We believe in one God, and His name is Jesus. We believe we must be born again, and whatever differences there may be really don't matter, because this is a body.
Amen.
I'm a recovering pastor, and a pastor for about 15 years in a little place none of you have heard of, or very probably likely, called Florissant, Missouri. Ain't nobody heard of that. 6 miles down the road from a place you have heard of, Ferguson, Missouri. We made the news. And I'm not even remotely interested in discussing here today the politics of it, the policing practices and any of that stuff. None of that matters to me. All I know is I was living in the middle of it. We ran our buses and picked kids up in Ferguson. We had people in our church that were from there. That was who we were. And when that was going on, every expert out there in culture was saying, well, we just can't get along. There's too many differences. There's too many lines. There's left and right, Democrat and Republican, and black and white and green and plaid, and we can't get along. I wish those educated idiots could have come to our church on Sunday when we just walked in and hugged one another and said, I don't care what color you are, I don't care what you look like, I don't care where you came from, this is the body of Christ, and we're in this thing together.
Amen.
I'm just telling you, the government can't produce this, society can't produce this. There's no answer except the church. There's no answer except the church. I thank God for the church. They tell us that you and I can't get along, and I don't understand. I see the family resemblance. And everybody out there tries to say, oh, you can't do that. You can't have a multicultural church. You can't. There's two. All I know is if we can't get along down here in the church, how are we going to get along out there where it's every tribe, every kindred, every nation, and every tongue? I thank God for the church. There's nothing like this anywhere on the planet. Thank God for the church. We do it every week. We come together. This is the only thing in the world where we rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those that weep. This is the only place on the planet where when one member suffers, all the members suffer with it. But when one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. It's what allows a group of people with all kinds of differences to come together and embrace one another and mourn when we suffer loss and rejoice when we have victory. It is that mystery that brings us together week after week. I say it again, there is nothing like the church. I just want to brag on the church a little while today. I want to sing the praises of the church. This is where you'll find love. This is where second chances are common things. This is where you'll be embraced. This is where you'll be forgiven. This is where you'll be supported. This is where you'll be cared for. This is where you can come after a weary week of struggle and have somebody you barely know walk up, put an arm around your shoulder and say, I don't know why, but I've been praying for you all week long. I thank God for the church. Some of you act like you believe it. The greatest blessing in your life is the day you were born again and baptized into the body. The greatest blessing in your life is not your bank account, it's your church membership. church. Don't talk bad about my mama. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I think I'm just lovable and likable. I try to be. I don't go through life with a chip on my shoulder. I refuse to live life like that. If you come up to me after service, look at me and say, I think you're the sorriest preacher I've ever heard, I'm just going to feel so bad for you that you got such bad taste in preaching. I just can't, I don't get offended by that. If you come up and start talking bad about my mom, my 86-year-old mom in Tennessee could probably whip most of you. You start to come up and talk bad about mom, we're going to have a discussion. She gave birth to me. She loved me when nobody else did. She protected me when nobody else cared. Don't come up and talk bad about my mama. She may not be perfect, but she's my mama. If you want to talk bad about the church, you better go find somebody else. I don't want to hear you talking bad about my mama. This place gave birth to me. This place protected me. This place loved me. This place cherished me. This place believed in me when nobody else would. This place cared for me when nobody else gave a care. Brother Graham, you see, you don't know our church is right, dude. It's like every other church. It's not perfect. You're here. For whatever problems it might have, this is the greatest blessing in my life. We built new church building when I was pastor in 2007. We moved in, built in 2006, and we had more room. We doubled our square footage. We're so grateful. Now they've had to expand again. I thank God for it. We had that big old long hallway upstairs with all those classrooms down the hall. And I was a bad pastor. I couldn't even do them in order. I don't know, junior, beginner, primary, kindergarten. I don't even know what order those all come in. The teachers do. Junior high, senior high, discipleship, all that stuff. We had all those classes. I went to my bishop. I said, Bishop, we need one more. Every square foot costs money. A bunch of it. I said, we need one more. He said, what do we leave out? I said, I just want one more class with a sign on the outside that says negative people. With a big room with a door that locks from the outside. So we can just put all those people in there, lock it up, let them whine and cry about everything that's wrong with the church and all the problems, and just let them whine till Jesus comes, and probably for 7 years thereafter. But there's some of us that want to come in and say, I was glad when they said to me, let's go to church. This is the greatest blessing in my life. I love being here. I love the people here. I love the leadership here. I thank God for the church. And I wish somebody lift a shout of celebration that you're part of the church. Some of you still understand, I love this place. You can't run me off from the church. You can't treat me bad enough to make me leave the church. There's no place else to go. My marriage needs the church. My family needs the church. My kids need the church. My job needs the church. My finances need the church. Everything in my life is blessed by the church.
Amen.
It may not be real bright, don't amen right then. But if I'm going to go up in the rapture of the church, probably need to be in the church. Ain't going to heaven on your own. You're not going to sit at home and watch some prostituted pulpit on TV and think you're going to heaven. You need a pastor. You need accountability in the body of Christ. You need the church. I want to be saved. Saved. So I'm going to plant my feet in the church, and no matter what comes, no matter how hell attacks, no matter what people say, no matter what I go through, I'm going to be in the church this year. I'll be in the church next year. I'm going to be here in 20 years. I'm going to go up in the rapture from the church. Because I depend on the church. I need the church. I need you. So you don't even know me. No, we're woven into this thing together. I need you. You need me. Between here and there, we depend on each other. It is absolutely true that at the end of this road, I must have worked out my own salvation with fear and trembling. I got that. When I stand before God in His righteous display, honey, all the excuses are going to drive in my mouth. I'm not going to be able to say, well, so-and-so this, or he that, or him this, or no. On that day, I'll take accountability for myself. So yes, it is ultimately my responsibility for my eternity, but hear me. It is also true that none of us are an island. We are not independent. We are interdependent. Look around this room and you will see the people who depend on you to get to heaven. And you will see the people on whom you rely to get to heaven. And that is the point I want to arrive at today. We are accountable for one another. There is an incredible responsibility that rests on my friend, that good man right there, on he and his wife. It is profound and it is immeasurably heavy, and it is something which I can tell you cannot be grasped by anybody who has not felt its weight. To know that someday you will stand before God and give an account for how you handled eternal souls that He died for, that'll keep you up nights. That's why you've got to be very careful against ever putting your tongue against the man of God just because you don't understand some decision. The reason you don't understand some decision is there's stuff you don't understand. But I want for just a season today to broaden the focus a little bit and remind you that He is not the only one responsible to get you to heaven. You want to know who else is responsible to get you to heaven, sir? I'm assuming you're a part of this church sitting on front row. You want to know who else is responsible to get you to heaven? She is, and he is, and she is, and she is, and he is, because every one of us have a role to play in getting everybody here ready for the rapture. Okay, all right. You help bear the weight of getting everybody there. Some years ago, let me do this. Some years ago, my wife and I, my kids, they were little. It's been many years ago. We spent a Christmas week in San Francisco. Saw all the sights there down at Fisherman's Wharf and went out to Alcatraz and all that kind of stuff. We drove one day across the Golden Gate Bridge and up into Muir Woods, which is one of the redwood groves in California. And my dear brothers and sisters, if you have never been there to see them, there are no pictures that do them justice. Am I telling the truth, good sir? They just are no pictures. They are 300 feet tall. I mean, see, and again, there's not a National Geographic YouTube clip. Nothing does it justice till you stand there and see them. Okay, now I grew up in the Midwest, Southern Illinois, lived in Missouri, and we don't have the beautiful palm trees and magnolias. Not very many magnolias like you've got down here, beautiful. But we have all the hardwoods, which I'm sure you have too, oaks and maples and elms and all that kind of stuff. Now I grew up and I just happen to know this because my brain is cluttered with little factoids. That however tall the tree is, on average, that's how deep the roots go under the ground. If you see a 30-foot maple, on average, the soil can affect this, but on average, the roots go down 30 feet. You see an old, mature 80-foot oak, and typically the roots will go down 80 feet. There is, on average, as much mass, as much wood beneath the ground as there is above the ground. So I'm standing there looking. Wow. So we're walking out through the forest, down these paths, and we come up on this little sign. I need a couple of assistants, a couple of guys, just somebody. Would you come help me, sir? I don't want to embarrass you. Would you come help me, Bo? I know, Brother Fulbear. Come here. Just come help me a minute. Just come up here and just stand on either side of me and face the congregation and look handsome. Great job. I'm walking down through the forest. I see this little sign. I'll go up and read it, and it says, and I quote, "The roots of the average redwood go down 3 feet." No. There's no way they could stand. I mean, I just look uneducated. I've been to college and everything. I studied Newtonian physics. Kinematics, they call it. Are you impressed yet? The best I got, sorry. But I know that if those coastal winds blow on limbs that are 300 feet in the air and you've got a 300-foot long lever and the fulcrum is there at the point of the ground, no 3-foot roots are holding that up. So I said to myself, they made a misprint on their sign. It was supposed to say 300, it says 3. Decimal error. Now pray for my wife, because this is what she lives with. I went to go find a park ranger to tell them they had a mistake on their sign. I wish I were kidding. Is that him? Oh, it's you. I'm so sorry. I went and found, and so I'm walking along and finally I see a guy down there feeding Yogi and Boo Boo or whatever he was doing. And I ran down there and I said, "Sir, there's a sign back on that trail up there, and it's got a misprint. I think it's a typo. We probably need to fix it. It says that the roots of these trees only go down 3 feet." He said, "That's correct." I said, "That is not possible. They could not stand up." He said, "Did you read the rest of the sign?" There was more. Because he explained to me, come a little closer, he explained to me that while the roots of those redwoods only go down 3 feet, they go out up to a mile. And in that mile, they find the roots of the next redwood, and they find the roots of the next redwood, and they get all tied together. He said, "Sir, what you got to understand is the wind doesn't blow on one tree, it blows on the whole forest." And he said, "Since the storm can't knock down the forest, it can't knock down any individual tree. Hey, folks, the gates of hell shall not prevail against the church. Hell can't take the church down, so if you just stay locked together, if you just keep holding on to each other, if you just stay connected, hell can't take you down." I thank God for the church. I thank God for my brothers and sisters. I thank God for the church. I told that park ranger, I said, "You don't know me, but I'm going to preach the hair off that." He said, "Well, let me help you with something else." He said, "There have been trees in that forest that we thought were dead. If it'd been up to us, we'd have cut them down because there was no signs of life for years, but their neighbors just wouldn't give up on them." He said they held on to them when they didn't move. They held on to them when they didn't look right. They held on to them when they didn't show any signs of life. And he said, sure enough, in a few years, there'd be a little green leaf show up. He said, if you see them today, you'd never know they were sick. If you saw them today, you'd never know how they struggled because their neighbors would not let go of them. Hey, friends, when somebody's struggling, we don't need to get on social media. You just need to grab a hold of their roots and say, "I won't let go of you. I love you. We're in this thing together." I'm responsible, and therefore I can do nothing which might hinder one of the members of the church on their journey, even if that means depriving myself of some of my rights. And I've got to do everything I can to help you on your journey, even if that means sacrificing beyond what some people would call reasonable. They always taught me in Bible school you should always try to get to your text. Since I haven't, I should. It's just one of the longer introductions you've ever heard. Take courage, my brothers and sisters. The message will not be of commensurate length with the introduction. Even people who know hardly anything about the Bible are familiar with the Ten Commandments. If for no other reason, they are familiar because of the legal battles which have surrounded their display in public venues around the country. This concise expression of God's moral code is known as the Decalogue. And all my life I've known, Sunday school, young person, Bible school, I've always known that if you want to find the Ten Commandments, you can go to 2 places in Scripture. There's 2 listings of the Ten Commandments. You have it when God gave it to Moses, and you've got it again when Moses reads it to Israel the second time before his departure. Now God made it easy for you to find it. It's found in Exodus chapter 20, that's 10 times 2. And Deuteronomy chapter 5, 10 divided by 2. Now if you can't do the simple math, I cannot help you. Use your smartphone. Exodus 20, Deuteronomy 5. I've always known that, right? You want to find the Ten Commandments, go to Exodus 20, Deuteronomy 5. There's individual verses elsewhere in the Bible, of course, all over the Bible, that reiterate those truths. But to find a list of them, there are only 2 places, Exodus 20, Deuteronomy 5. I've always believed that until recently, when I found, much to my surprise, a 3rd listing. I was reading in the book of Leviticus. You remember Leviticus, don't you? Yeah. The book that has killed many a bread chart. Hey, you get honesty if nothing else. I am persuaded, Bishop, that Leviticus has probably killed more New Year's resolutions than Krispy Kreme has. That's my guess right there. I'm going to read the Bible through this year. Man, you did great through Genesis and Exodus, and then you hit Leviticus. And that's a shame, because there's some good stuff in there. I was reading in Leviticus chapter 19 when I noticed something amazing. Interspersed through this chapter is a third listing of the Ten Commandments. They're not quite as concise. They're not in the same order. No, I don't need that yet. I'll get to it in a minute. Don't jump the gun there. That's it. It's not quite as concise. Some of them are worded a little differently. But the fact that they're all there cannot be disputed. I will take you very quickly, and at this moment, more than even previously, I'm going to drive the interpreter for the hearing impaired crazy because I'm going to go so fast. Let me just take you through it very quickly. Commandment number 1, I am the Lord God which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, no other gods before me, right? Here's Leviticus 19, 36 and 37. And I didn't give you all these, don't worry about it. No, that's not it. I'll tell you when I want that one. Take that one down, thank you. I will not let you flounder and wonder when I want that one, I promise. You're doing a great job. Leviticus 19. 36, 37. I am the Lord your God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. You shall observe all my statutes, all my judgments, do them. I am the Lord. That's the first commandment. Commandment number 2 is about no graven images. Here's Leviticus 19 and 4. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make yourself molten gods. There's commandment number 2. Commandment 3, don't take his name in vain, right? Here's Leviticus 19 and 12. Ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. There's commandment 3. Commandment number 4 is about the Sabbath. Here's Leviticus 19 and 3. Keep my Sabbaths. Commandment number 5 is honor your father and mother. Leviticus 19 and 3. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father. That's just blowing my mind. The one I do find it interesting that in Exodus it said when it talks about honor, it puts dad first. When it says fear, it puts mom first. Now there's something to be said about that right there. Truth in that right there. Amen and amen. Commandment number 6. Right? Commandment number 6 out of Exodus, don't kill. Here's Leviticus 19 and 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. This is what Jesus reached back to in the Sermon on the Mount when he was talking about killing. He didn't just make that up on the spot. He reached back to what he wrote in Leviticus earlier. So there's the don't kill commandment. Commandment number 7 is don't commit adultery. Leviticus 19, 20, 29 refers to lying carnally with a woman, prostitutes and whoredoms. Commandment number 8, don't steal. Here's Leviticus 19 and 11. Ye shall not steal. Commandment number 9, don't bear false witness against your neighbor. Here's Leviticus 19, 11, 13, 16. Neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. Thou shalt not stand against the blood of thy neighbor. It is blowing my mind that all these commandments are listed in Leviticus 19. I'd never noticed it. So I print out Exodus 20, and I print out Leviticus 19, and I start drawing lines. There's number 1, there's number 2, 3 is up here, there's 4, 5, 6, there's 7, there's 8, there's number 9. So I go over to number 10. Number 10, I'll put it up there, Exodus 20 and 17, just for your convenience. Here's commandment number 10. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, his maidservant, his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And I jump over to Leviticus 19 to find the verse that talks about coveting. It's not there. I mean, the word covet isn't in that chapter anyplace. And then I thought, now wait a minute, though there were no chapters then. It might be the end of 18 or the first part of 20. That was a brilliant thought, but wrong. I used my high-dollar, high-powered Bible computer software program. And I searched the whole wretched book of Leviticus for the word covet. You know how many times it occurs? 0. And now I'm saying, God, you're messing up what was potentially a pretty good sermon. Why would all the other 9 be reiterated in that chapter? But number 10 doesn't seem to be there. Was it less important? Was it less applicable? And then, my dear brothers and sisters, I found it. Number 10 is in the corner. Leviticus 19. Now, my brother, sister, whoever, there you go. Leviticus 19 and 9. And when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and the stranger. I am the Lord your God. Stay with me. You see, coveting is when I look at something that belongs to you And I want it for myself. And God said, that stuff in the corner of your field, that doesn't belong to you. I gave that to somebody else. It might be in your field. You might have planted it. You might have watered it. But it's not yours. I have decided that that belongs to somebody that's weary. That belongs to somebody that's broken. That belongs to somebody that has a need. And if you look at it and say, I want it, you're coveting. Don't panic. Don't just stay with me. I'm going to get there. See, this is what Ruth capitalized on. Right? When she came back from Moab and she went into the field of Boaz and began to glean. Hey, y'all. Boaz does not get a plaque for letting her do that. She wasn't picking up Boaz's grain. She was picking up her own grain. God had already given it to her in Leviticus 19. When she walked into that field, Boaz doesn't get a reward for letting her in there. He would have been penalized and punished if he hadn't. Because if he had looked over there at that grain in the corner and said, I want to keep that, he would have been coveting what rightly belonged to Ruth. Because she was weary. She was broken. And God said, that may be in your field, but it's not yours. It belongs to her. And had any man looked at what was standing in the corner of his field, the extra, and said, I think I want it, he would have violated the 10th commandment. Because that grain existed for the good of someone in need. That grain existed for the weak and the broken and the hurting. That was the necessary resources for somebody else to make it another day. It wasn't there to enrich him. It was there to sustain somebody else. Now I want to get to my point. I kind of think that's how the church works. No, I'm not talking about your billfold. Let me go down this road. Honey, when we walk into our worship field, not everything in that field belongs to me. When I start praising God, it's not all about making me feel good. Some of it is so He feels good. That's how the church works. I'm not supposed to sing until I feel God. I'm supposed to sing until you feel God. I'm not supposed to pray until I can make it. I'm supposed to pray until you can make it. I'm not supposed to shout till I have victory. I'm supposed to shout till you have victory. I'm not supposed to worship until I'm delivered. I'm supposed to worship until that drug addict on the end of the road feels something come over him and he finds deliverance. If I look at that extra worship and say, I don't want to give it today, it's not mine, it's yours. And I don't offer that extra praise so that I'll be ready for the rapture. I offer that extra praise so somebody else will be ready for the rapture. Far too often, let's be honest, far too often, when that praise team gets to singing, and we go like this, okay, I'm good. And that's not even the question. Come on, offer a little more. No, I don't think I want to. You're coveting. Because God already said, why do you think I gave you that strength? Just for you? I gave you that strength so you'd walk in this house on Sunday and say, I don't know who it's for, but here I got a little extra praise to lift up. I got a little extra prayer to give. I got a little extra faithfulness, because somebody needs to get in the corner of my field and find what they're looking for. And I'm not going to keep it for myself. I'm not going to be selfish about it. I'm not going to look at your victory and try to keep it for me. It may be in my field, but it belongs to you. So I kind of think somebody ought to lift up corner of the field praise. I think somebody ought to give corner of the field sacrifice. I think somebody ought to give corner I'm pretty sure I'll be back next Sunday. When I do that, I'm not depriving me. I'm depriving someone down the pew who needs my worship to make it through their valley. And I don't even know anything about what they're going through, but God said if you just lift up that grain in the corner, if you just go ahead and give it, I'll let them come into your field and find what they need. About 5 years ago, I went through one of the, maybe more than that, I don't know now, 6, 7 years ago, maybe. I went through one of the darkest stretches of my time pastoring. I was ready to quit. Hope that doesn't make you think less of me, but I was done. I've been hurt, burned, and wounded, and I was tired. In church, in our church, I sat about where this dear sister sits. I sat about right there. And I came in on that Sunday morning, Bishop. I haven't felt God in weeks. Oh, you're the pastor. Yeah, that's why. I'm broken, man. I'm telling you. I was ready to quit. I needed you to come preach me under conviction again. I was just lost. I look around my field. Choir singing, lights, everything's going. I look around my field and there's not one blade of grass anywhere. There's not a piece of grain to be had. I got mouthfuls of dust. I'm dying on a church pew. I got to get up there and preach in a couple minutes, and I've got nothing. I think I'm going to preach on hell. Nothing. Pastor told me I got nothing. I feel nothing. I'm dying inside. Worship's going, choir's singing, I'm trying. And about then, over here, got this dear lady in our church, one of our founding members, been there since day one. Folks in our church don't even know her name. If she was here, she'd introduce herself to you as Granny. That's all anybody knows here in our church, Granny Foster. I visited her in the hospital the first time. I didn't even know her first name. And you know they will not send you up to Granny Foster's room. It's like gospel truth. I got there and went, uh-oh. She said, what's the patient's name? I said, last name's Foster. What's first name? I'm sorry? What? Granny? Sir, when I send you up, I had to call back to church, get church secretary, give me her name. I didn't know what her name was. Now, I'm going to be nice, best I can, but there's no nice way to say this. She's old. Old. Sneezing dust. And she got out of her seat right back here, and she started down toward the front. All I can think is, I hope that's a long song. It'd be kind of embarrassing. Get right here and they quit. You just... She made her way right over here, right over in front of the pulpit, just about right to the side of it. And she gave it everything she had. Went about like this. I ran out of my seat as fast as my pudgy little self could go, and I ran across there. And I grabbed that bony little hand. And when I did, more Holy Ghost shot through me than I'd felt in 6 weeks. I took to talking in tongues and dancing and shouting with her. I got up and preached victory and power and anointing, and something broke, and I came out of my valley, and the sun came up again the next day. You want to know why? Because that dear little lady didn't come down there and give that so she'd be saved. She gave it so somebody else. She didn't know it, but she saved her pastor. I'm preaching here this morning because Granny Foster did this. You just never know what might happen if you just give a little more. You never know who you might rescue if you just offer something in the corner of the street. Stumbled, broken and hungry and weary, into the corner of that 90-plus-year-old lady's field. It might not have looked like much to some, but it was a buffet for me. It might have seemed insignificant in the overall service that day, but it wasn't insignificant to me. I found life in her field. violate the 10th commandment. When I look at that extra and view it as mine. When I pray, it's not all about me. When I give, it's not just so I get blessed. When I separate myself in righteous living, it is in part for your spiritual well-being. When I discipline myself in conduct and appearance, I might just be saving your teenager who's watching me. I think I could do that and still go to heaven. But if you do that, will somebody else go to hell? I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I really think I can do that and still be saved. Not the question. If you do that, will somebody else be lost? It's my right? No! It's not yours. It's the corner of the field. It belongs to somebody else. When I worship when I don't feel like it. I might be strengthening some soul who's been battered by hell all week. But I come to service for a midweek Bible study after work when I'm tired and would really rather just go home. A discouraged member of this family might walk through my faithful field and find the strength to make it another day. And when I feel like it's too much, God's asking too much of my time, my strength, my energy, my worship, my praise, my money, my emotions, I have to back up and look in the corner and say, that's not mine. That belongs to her. And to him. And my job is to come into the house and say, oh, magnify the Lord with me and let exalt his name together. Don't covet what belongs to your neighbor. Give it. So see, I'm going to do something really strange here today, but I'm kind of strange. I wonder, you got your funny. I wonder, Bishop, maybe if we do altar calls all along. Because here's what we do. If you're here today and you've got a need, if you're hungry, if you're broken, if you're weary, if you're hurting, come up here to the front. And then we just hope, plead, somebody will be more interested in them than in Golden Corral. But I wonder if what we ought to do is say, who's got some extra? Who'd want to come up and bring the corner of your worship? I mean, I know you were singing earlier, but if you look over again, who'd want to come bring a little extra today? And you ought to feel real convicted if this dear precious lady will make her way up here to worship and you're more interested in getting out to beat the Baptist than the rest of them. I wonder if what we ought to do is say, who's got some extra? Who's God been good to? Who's got a little worship and praise? I don't want you to come up